Across the country, more Americans are saying the same thing. I want to support U.S. jobs. I want to buy American. But when they walk into the store, they don't see American-made options. Or if they do, the price is triple. Or it's out of stock. And for small business owners, it's even harder. They want to shift away from Chinese suppliers. They want to reshore their materials. But the reality? Most of what they need still isn't made in America. According to the National Federation of Independent Business, in April 2025, over 60% of small manufacturers reported supply shortages or price spikes when trying to buy domestic components. So what happened? Why is it so hard to find American-made goods even after years of trade wars and Buy American campaigns? And if tariffs are going up again, but we still can't find alternatives here at home, then maybe the problem isn't global trade. Maybe it's what we lost inside our own supply chain. The message from Washington has been loud and clear. Bring manufacturing home. Support American supply chains. Reduce dependence on China. But on the ground, it's a different story. Small and mid-sized businesses across the U.S. are struggling to find reliable domestic suppliers. Not because they don't want to switch, but because there simply aren't enough factories left. According to Bloomberg, in April 2025, more than 70% of electronic components and basic inputs used by U.S. manufacturers still come from overseas, most of it from China or Southeast Asia. That includes circuit boards, auto parts, machine tools, and raw materials like lithium and rare earth metals. Even with tariffs rising, many American producers still import these goods because there's no viable alternative. During the past 3 decades, entire sectors of U.S. industry were outsourced. Companies closed domestic plants, moved operations offshore, and built just-in-time systems around global access. Now that trade policy has changed, the system can't keep up. In theory, Buy American is good policy. But without capacity, without equipment, skilled workers, and domestic capital, it's just a slogan. Take lithium batteries. The government wants electric vehicles made in America. But according to the U.S. Geological Survey in 2025, over 75% of lithium-ion batteries used in the U.S. are still imported from China. Even when domestic battery factories are planned, they take years to build. And in the meantime, prices stay high. And options stay limited. That leaves American businesses, especially small manufacturers, caught in the middle. They want to shift sourcing. They want to follow the new rules. But they can't meet deadlines, hit budgets, or stay competitive if their raw materials are stuck on the other side of the world. So what do? Most choose the only thing they can afford. They pay the tariff. They raise their prices. And they try not to lose their customers. That's what's really happening. Not because people won't buy American, but because there isn't enough America left in the supply chain to sell. The idea of buying American still resonates. People want to support local jobs. They want to reduce dependence on foreign suppliers. But the real cost of doing that today is more than most families or small businesses can afford. Let's take a simple example. A small electronics shop in Indiana needs to buy capacitors for a batch of custom equipment. They want to avoid Chinese parts. So they look for American suppliers. They find one with a 6-month lead time and a price that's 40% higher. That's not a political problem. It's a business reality. So what happens? They go back to their Chinese supplier. They pay the 30% tariff. They add another 5 to 10% margin just to stay afloat. And the final cost goes straight to the customer. Now scale that up. Thousands of businesses across the country in manufacturing, retail, construction are facing the same dilemma. Import with penalty, or delay production and risk losing clients. And this isn't just about materials. It's also about labor. According to the National Association of Manufacturers, in early 2025, the U.S. has over 600,000 unfilled skilled trade positions with demand growing faster than the training pipeline. Even when companies want to produce here, they can't find the welders, machinists, or engineers to do the work. So, Buy American becomes a choice between principle and survival. And for regular consumers? They see it too. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, American-made goods now cost 20 to 40% more than similar imported items in categories like home appliances, tools, and apparel. So when a family shops for a washing machine or a pair of boots, they're not choosing ideology. They're choosing what they can afford. It's not that people don't want to support the U.S. economy. It's that the U.S. economy hasn't made it easy to support. And the more we push Made in America without building the system behind it, the more frustration we create at the cash register, on the job site, and across the supply chain. So the next time someone says we just need to buy more local, you might want to ask, where do we actually go to find it? Because the problem isn't patriotism, it's production. When people say there's no American option, it sounds like a national failure. But for some, it's a profitable gap, because in every shortage, there's someone positioned to win. Let's start with the importers. Large corporations with deep global networks have already adapted. They source from multiple countries. They navigate around tariffs. And they pass on just enough cost to stay competitive without losing market share. Retail giants like Amazon, Costco, and multinational manufacturers aren't fighting to rebuild local supply. They're managing logistics to keep things moving, no matter where it's made. And when domestic production lags, they gain leverage. They control shelf space. They set delivery timelines. And they negotiate from strength, not desperation. Meanwhile, hedge funds and private equity groups are acquiring struggling American suppliers, buying up old factories, rebranding imported goods as assembled in the U.S., capturing the marketing value of patriotism without actually rebuilding industry. It's a clever play. Keep the price advantage. Add a U.S. flag to the label. And let the buyer believe they're supporting the homeland. Even the government, in some ways, benefits. Tariffs generate revenue, nearly $93 billion in 2024, according to the Treasury Department. That's money flowing in without raising income taxes. But who loses? It's not the big players. It's the independent repair shop in Ohio trying to source American-made parts. It's the startup in Arizona forced to pay 30% more for machine components. It's the family in Wisconsin who wants to buy American boots but walks out with a cheaper import. And here's the uncomfortable truth. When the system says buy American, but doesn't give you a way to do it, someone's profiting from that disconnect. Not by rebuilding supply chains, but by owning the shortage. So when we ask who really benefits, maybe we should stop looking at the countries involved and start looking at the companies who are playing both sides. It starts small. A local shop delays an order because the American-made part is too expensive or unavailable. A family hesitates to upgrade appliances because the only affordable option is made overseas. A contractor cuts staff because his margins are shrinking under higher sourcing costs. None of these decisions make headlines, but they add up day by day, block by block, and the ripple moves outward. When businesses can't buy affordable materials, they reduce output, they raise prices, they lose bids to larger competitors who can import at scale. When households face fewer domestic choices, they default to imports not out of preference but out of necessity. That weakens demand for local production, which makes it even harder for domestic suppliers to scale up. It's a feedback loop. Low production capacity, high prices, low demand, even less production. And the impact doesn't stop with factories. Communities lose jobs not because people don't want to work, but because the supply chain they'd work in no longer exists. Schools in manufacturing towns lose students. Training programs for skilled trades shut down due to low enrollment. And the next generation grows up without ever seeing what a strong domestic industry looks like. This isn't just about trade. It's about economic identity. When Made in America becomes something you only see on political banners, but not on your store shelves, you start to question the promise. People want to contribute. They want to build. But they're boxed into a system that tells them to be loyal, while offering no tools to act on that loyalty. And slowly, confidence erodes. Confidence in policy, in leadership, in the belief that if you play by the rules, you'll be rewarded. Because if rescuing is always the plan, but never the reality, what does that do to a nation's trust in itself? For years, we've heard the same message. Bring jobs back. Buy local. Support American workers. And most people agree. But wanting to buy American and actually being able to are two very different things. Because when factories are gone, when training programs are underfunded, when supply chains have been outsourced for decades, it takes more than a slogan to fix it. This isn't about blaming. It's about recognizing what's missing and asking why it's still missing. Because if tariffs go up and the shelves still don't have American options, then what exactly are we paying for? Let us know what you've seen. Have you tried to buy American-made goods? Did you find them? Were they affordable? Leave a comment. Share this video with someone who's been asking the same questions. Because maybe the first step in rebuilding is being honest about what we've already lost